Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your July 2019 general readings. We're looking at the first half of July from the 1st to the 15th. Welcome to everyone here, newcomers, first-timers, and welcome back to followers and subscribers. Thanks for taking the time to tune in today, and for those of you who send in your support, feedback, and comments. And always a big shout-out and note of gratitude to all of my clients out there, regular and new. You guys keep me so eternally busy and occupied. Thank you so very much. And if any of you are interested in scheduling a personal reading with me, live or recorded, you can click on the description link below for more info and contact details, or you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage and click on the little About button there. Please feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. I can usually respond to your initial request the same day or within the first 24 hours. And setting up the actual reading is pretty timely too. I do readings full-time, 6 days a week. It is all that I do. So I'm pretty diligent at working with everyone's schedule, including my own, to schedule readings as quickly as possible. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll go from there. I do a wide variety of readings in all areas of life. All right, let's move right into this. This is for the water sign of Cancer. Our lovely, cute little crabs, our Cancerians, for the first half of July 2019. General readings always resonate a little differently for everybody, as many of you know. So watch your other signs as well. Your rising sign, moon sign, Venus sign. Watch those videos as well. It can be helpful in providing more information, additional clarification too. Okay, Cancer. Let's see what the first half of July has in store for you. Okay. Okay, Leo. Ooh. We begin with the Two of Cups, followed by the Moon. We have the Six of Wands, followed by the Seven of Wands. From the bottom of the deck, your overall energy for the first half of July is the Nine of Swords. Who else got that? Leo did actually too. So for many of you, this is going to be about a relationship, because we start off with the Two of Cups and the Moon. The Two of Cups is traditionally one of the soulmate cards, a karmic connection. This can be a love romance sort of relationship, or it can be a best friend, kindred spirit sort of relationship. It's somebody that you are karmically connected to. And, you know, soulmates come in all different forms, and sometimes a soulmate can be a best friend, kindred spirit, somebody that you feel very connected to. Sometimes they go in and out of our lives. And the reason why we're in each other's lives is for some important lesson for our own growth and evolvement. And some soulmates come in and occupy our whole lives, and some only occupy certain chapters of the book of our life. But you know, there's a karmic reason, divine timing and orchestration for the two of you to be connected in this life, whether it's in a romantic sense, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or whether it's best friend, kindred spirits. Even if sometimes you meet them, you might not like them in the beginning, and then you become best friends. It's that karmic connection. So it's obviously about a relationship for many of you, regardless of the nature of that relationship. Now, the Two of Cups is accompanied by the Moon, major arcana card of the Moon. This can speak of that deep gut instinct, visceral, spiritual feelings, things stirring in our subconscious, things not being altogether clear. The Moon can represent that you may not always see things clearly, even though you may feel compelled on an emotional or visceral, very deep down sense, even though in our conscious mind things might not always be clear. And I think too that this can be a card that can represent deep spirituality, our connection to spirit, which is a nice validation for the Two of Cups, which represents a karmic connection as well. This is definitely a connection for you know, the two of you were meant to be, the two of you are karmically connected for a reason, whether that's for the rest of your life reason, or for, or, you know, length of time, or for purposes of an important, significant lesson, you know, whether or not you continue for the rest of your lives. But the thing with the Two of Cups, that karmic connection, it remains there for the rest of your life. Sometimes, again, you guys are together forever, whether it's best friends or something else. Sometimes you go in and out of each other's lives. Sometimes it's just that person that you learn that lesson and then you move on from. But that lesson remains with you. That energy remains with you. And the moon can be a confirmation of that as well. But the moon can also represent a lack of clarity. Maybe you feel very drawn to this person, but you just don't know why. There's obviously, with that Nine of Swords and the Seven of Wands here, some conflict around this relationship. You may not know how this relationship is going to work out. If you want it to work out, if you keep thinking, is this meant to be? Is this, you know, what do I do? The moon can also represent unrealistic fears, meaning that, you know, fears and concerns aren't, you know, they might be valid, but the moon can represent seeing something in a way that makes it scary when it's not really meant to be that scary. For example, a good analogy I like to use for that is that, you know, you've got a big backyard, and there's, in the far corner of your backyard, there's this big old gnarly tree. It's kind of cool looking. I stand there and look at it under the light of the sun. You can see exactly what it is. But when you go out on your back porch at night, and there's just like that shadowy light of the moon, there's lots of shadows and hidden nooks and crannies. That gnarly big old tree out in the back part of your property can look like a bear or a monster or some strange thing. You don't know what it is, and it's something fearful. But in the light of day, it looks completely, you know, what it is. So the moon can also represent maybe being, you know, unrealistic fears, or being afraid of something because it may be, you may be afraid of, you know, maybe you have trust issues. I mean, many of us do. There's just this uncertainty and a lot of maybe shadowy kind of fears about this connection, about this relationship. But it seems like you're very determined to hold on to it anyway, that you want to win with this relationship. You want to have victory. You want to have success in this relationship, whatever that success means. I mean, if it's a friendship that's going through a lot of turmoil, it can just be healing that together. If it's a romantic relationship, continuing together in a peaceful, harmonious, loving sort of way. But I feel like you're very determined to have this success and victory. You're very determined that this relationship, you know, be what you want it to be, because we have the Six of Wands and the Seven of Wands here. Now, the Six of Wands is a card of victory, of triumph, of success after a struggle, being recognized for that, being publicly recognized for it. It can be a card of celebration, perhaps. You know, it could be about getting engaged or getting married, even though you may have, you know, some long-term fears or concerns about it. It can be a card of public recognition. So maybe the two of you, your relationship is being publicly recognized this month, whether through engagement or through a wedding. Summer months are traditional months for such things, you know, marriages, weddings, engagements, things of that sort. So it could be that as well. It could be that you're in a relationship with somebody that has been rather on the secret side, maybe a hidden relationship or a secret relationship, but you're determined that this relationship become public, become part of your normal day-to-day life and be recognized as such, you know, like mutual exclusivity, not be having a hidden or secret relationship. And the Six of Wands is accompanied by the Seven of Wands, which is a defensive card. It's a card about, you know, defending and protecting and guarding that which you've put a lot of work and effort into. So there's a few different stories here, Cancer. Some of you, well, let me do your overall energy. So your overall energy around this for the first half of July is the Nine of Swords. This is unrealistic energy, unrealistic fear. This is a lot of stress, anxiety, worry, insomnia, staying up late, worrying, imagining an outcome which hasn't even played out yet, and it's always the worst possible outcome. Oh my God, what am I going to do if this happens? Oh my God, what am I going to do if this doesn't happen? Always the worst possible outcome. Swords represent air energy. That's the element which governs the suit of swords, and this is about what goes on in our heads. Swords represent our thoughts, our ideas, our belief systems, our ideologies, how we look at things, because that affects the way that we see things and how we relate and communicate. It's all about what goes on up in our heads, truth, illumination. But this is a card that represents, you know, your mind being your own worst enemy. your mind chewing on itself, going over and over and over again, obsessing about something in a really negative way. It's building something up to be much bigger and worse than it actually is. It's just a gnarly old tree. It's not a bear. It's not a monster. It's just a gnarly old tree. So there's obviously some stress and concerns about this relationship. I feel like you're determined to hold on to it, determined that it evolve and become successful and victorious, whatever that means for you. Could be engagement, marriage for some of you. Now for others of you, I think a smaller portion, but for some of you, this could be a relationship that you've been having in secret for whatever reason. Maybe there's a third party, maybe they're getting divorced, I don't know, whatever it is. And your stress and concern and anxiety is coming from, you know, wanting this to be, you know, an open, publicly recognized, you know, this is we're a couple in our day-to-day life moving forward together kind of thing, and you're determined that that be the case. But I feel like for the majority of you, even though there's a lot of stress and concern about this relationship, although I think a lot of it is not justified, you're determined to hold on to this and to move forward. So, and have success, whatever that success is as defined by you. So let's clarify this Nine of Swords. What is this stress, anxiety, insomnia, worrying about? And I feel like a lot of you, if you were making a decision, because twos can represent choices and duality, I feel like you're moving forward with this relationship, even though you may have some fears and concerns, even though you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, you know, who does? We can only see even I can only see a certain way into the future. So, you know, a lack of clarity. Let's see what this is about. Nine of Swords. What is this Nine of Swords about? It's about the Eight of Wands, messages going back and forth, powerful, important messages going back and forth. It's also a card of travel. Some of you may be traveling to see this person, or this person may be traveling to see you. Some of you may be trying to make up your mind whether it's the right thing or not to travel towards this person or have them travel towards you to be together. Maybe you've already made up your mind, but you're still worried, you know, am I making the right decision? For some of you, this stress and anxiety comes from the opinions of other people. I'm getting that some of you have maybe friends or other people or advisors or someone that thinks that this relationship might not be the right relationship for you, and so you're having these you know, you're getting opinions from another person or from other people, and that's causing you stress because maybe it's playing on subconscious fears that you well, subconscious or just deep down in your stomach, fears that you already have as well. Yeah, it's really about, I want this relationship to be victorious, whatever that means for you. I want to hold on to this relationship, defend, protect it, even though I'm feeling a lot of stress because I don't have a lot of clarity in this situation. I might be hearing negative stuff about this relationship from other people, or people saying, I don't think you're making the right decision, or your mind could just be saying, I don't know if I'm making the right decision or not. But you seem very determined to move forward with this. So let's pull one final advice and guidance card from Spirit, Cancer, for the first half of July. Your advice is the Sun. Relax. Let it go. If you've made the decision, move forward. For those of you that are determined, move forward. Let it go. The Sun uplifts energy. The Sun is Spirit saying it's going to be okay. The Sun is about the sun coming out from the clouds and shining over everything, bringing light, illumination, clarity, which I believe you guys are going to have. It's also a card that says let it go. It's going to be all right. There's an uplifting of energy, winter into spring, darkness into light, sickness into health energy. This is a card also of getting out and enjoying yourself. Get outside, spend some more time in the sun, spend some time with friends. Stop stressing about this. Stop this Nine of Swords energy. We want to throw this energy out the window. Keep putting one foot in front of the other, Cancer. Spirit also, the Sun is also a message for many of you that you're cradled in Spirit's hands, literally. it's all going to work out well in the end, regardless of how it plays out. It's going to play out as it's meant to. For those of you, I think, for those of you who have already made the decision and you're moving forward with something, you've already made the decision about this relationship and you're moving forward, let that rest and let go of the stress and anxiety. You cannot write the script for a future which has not played out yet. That is, you know, a billion light years above our pay grade. That's God's spirit, your angels and guides' job to do that. And they're saying, let them do that. So Cancer, that pretty much wraps up your reading for the first half of July 2019. I hope you found it helpful and useful and provided a little bit of guidance for you. Again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, please click on the description link below for more info and contact details. You can email me at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you. I do love and romance readings, relationship compatibility charting, which take a look at a specific relationship between two people. I do career work and finance, investment readings. I offer 6 and 12-month overviews, which take a look at what's going on in your life over a 6 or a 12-month period, depending on how far ahead you want to look in all the main areas of life, and those are quite useful as well. And I do offer gift readings too, because there's nothing more personal than a personal reading, and they make great presents for friends, family, and loved ones. So there's a few things to choose from. If you're interested, send me an email. We'll go from there. I can usually respond to your initial inquiry the same day or within the first 24 hours. So. And because of my schedule, I can usually set up readings pretty timely too. I'm pretty diligent at working with everyone's schedule. So send me a message if you like, and I would be happy to work with you. So Cancer, I'll see you guys again in a couple of weeks for the July 2019 mid-month general readings. Until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, a happy life, and throw that 9 of Swords energy out the door and enjoy yourself. Spirit's got this one. Take care. Bye-bye.